What's up, y'all? It's Rain with Building Wealth While Black. You about to get into part 2 of the interview with Donovan. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Listen to us on our podcast. We're dropping new stuff every week. It's not just about real estate. We're talking about stock options, any way of building wealth, multiple streams of income. We're interviewing people. Just stay tuned. We're dropping a lot of stuff. All I gotta say, man. Let's get to the episode later.
We were talking about visiting a property today. So, what property do you have in mind? I mean, you got anyone that's close to being done? I think I saw you posted that you got one that's almost or is completed or almost completed, where you're like, it's probably going to be listed in a couple weeks here. So, I don't know which is the next hot one on your pipeline right now.
Yeah, there's a few we can see. So there's one that's completely done basically, and it's under contract. It's supposed to close in probably early October. Just waiting on the buyer's loan basically. And then the one I was talking about on Instagram, that one I actually just listed yesterday, and that one should be done, sometime next month. So 2 different floor plans there, so we can see either one. I got some in construction that are in framing. So you guys let me know what would be the most beneficial.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would like to see one that's like ready, because I know we saw a lot of them that almost ready last time, or just like ground up and stuff. Right. But because so I guess that's the time when you actually finally get paid for your hard work, right? It's like when they finally close.
Yeah. So the thing in my position is I really would only get paid if we sell it.
Oh, okay.
Because if we cash out refinance, I mean, I'm making money on the cash flow, but my profit is tied up in that equity in the deal.
So how does that work? So like you take out your loan and basically you're paying your loan, but you're getting the money from like the renters?
Exactly. So in this case, like the first property we visited last time, or the one we spent most of the time at, that single story duplex, that one we have $3,000 a month coming in each month. And then I think the mortgage payments maybe like all in maybe like $1,800, $1,900. Okay. So there's like almost $1,000 give or take of cash flow. And so that's what I split with Andrew each month. And so I'm getting a couple $100, but obviously the big payday for me as a developer is when we sell it, because that's when, for example, like I said, our loan is for $250 and it's probably worth like $350 now. So there's $100K in equity that when we sell, that's what we would split. And that would be my kind of bigger payday. So that's the thing with the developer. I want people to understand, like, really not making any money for a while potentially. Right.
So that's one thing. I like the fact that you're being transparent, because, a lot of times people will sell you on this, not even sell you, they'd be like, your property, like, and thinking like somebody's going to buy a property, get some land today, build it, boom, 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 they have all this money. Yeah. And tomorrow, it's not, it's time consuming. It's time consuming, but it's the longer play. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the instant play that some people automatically think. And one thing about me, I just want to make sure I be transparent with people, because, like, let me get the information out to people so they know, like, this is how it really works. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Not how, because a lot of times I feel like so many people out here are selling courses and selling, BS, and they make everything seem like it's all wins. And they'll never tell you about the cons. Just like you said earlier, everybody would tell you about, oh man, get business credit, build a business credit, get business loans. But they'll never really talk about, well, you might get 50 or 100 or 300, whatever thousand worth of business credit, but you got to pay that back. You know what I'm saying? You a venture, you got to make sure you pay that back. You don't want to just get all this stuff and don't have the means to pay it back. But they glorify other things, but don't let you know all the the small detail. And that's the reason why I always like talking with you, because you're gonna let me know like the real deal. Like, I got this, but I'm really not gonna see the big payday until we sell the property. Or I'm getting cash flow, but it's not like thousands of dollars, every day. Unless you have multiple doors and multiple units, that's when it starts adding up. Yeah. But if you got, 1 or 2, you're not making big bread. Like, a lot of times I feel like people sometimes tell people on not the truth, what I'm saying?
Yeah, like it's not instant. So for me, it's like part of a bigger picture. It's like, so my whole thing is like, I'm not too concerned with, again, I want to get paid for my hard work, obviously, but like my whole thing is like, I'm getting to learn, right? Developing like I'm getting a lot of experience. Yeah. So like I'm going to be doing 20, like I'll be able to do my own right at that point if I wanted to. So that's more what it's about for me. Obviously we'll get paid when we sell it, but in the meantime, I just want people like you said, I want to make sure they understand, like, just buy the land, build it, make money, profit. Like it's not as maybe glamorous as it may seem. There's a lot of headaches. Like yesterday on Instagram, I was talking about the title insurance thing. So I want to quickly touch on that so people don't go out and just buy land and just think, oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah. So like when the reason on Instagram yesterday, I made a post of how I was saying it's really important you have a good title insurance company, because if something is on title that doesn't get caught immediately and it gets caught later, now you're held up on either permitting or your construction loan, and time is money. So like if the longer you're sitting on that, the longer you're not getting paid. And so hypothetically, let's say you bought that piece of land with business credit, but you can't actually build on it. Now you got 70 grand, 80 grand tied up, and you don't have an end in sight because there was something on land that tied up your money, or something on the land that tied up your construction loan or your permitting. So in our case, what happened multiple times was there was this there's like an old demolition permit that was never closed out by the previous owner, and I'm talking this was like 20 years ago, so this was like from 1993. And then right at then we bought the land, we got title insurance, always get title insurance, make sure you get that. And then title insurance was all good, right? They gave us title insurance, so I assume that means we're good to go. But we get to the very end of permitting, and right before they're about to give us our permit, they're like, hey, actually there's an old demo permit that was never closed out, and you need to take care of it. Obviously I'm like, okay, like 30 other people have owned this before me,
right?
And then obviously I haven't done anything wrong, but again, none of them have tried to get permits, so it all falls on me. And then this whole process is, I can get into details. Long story short, it's like we can fix it, right? But it's going to cost probably an extra $4,000, and it's going to cost like 3 months of time. And so for me, that can be a big downside, because like when I talk to my partners, I typically tell them, hey, it's going to be about 12 months. And so now if I just extended it 3 months, that's extending it almost 25%. Yeah. And so now I look like I don't know what I'm doing. So like,
right.
And that's not good either, right? So make sure you get a good title company when you buy land, basically.
That's one of the first things I learned from you.
I'm telling you.
Like title, because I didn't know. I remember from the first time or the last video, you was like, even title insurance doesn't cover the whole amount always. I think that's what you were saying. So that's another thing I didn't know. Like, I was thinking like, okay, if I got insurance, just like you think like a car insurance, like if I total my car, I'm gonna get paid for the car. But you're just like, that's not exactly how it works. That you might have title insurance and it might not cover the whole amount. That it only might cover half. So that if something goes wrong, that you still might have to come out. You might lose half of your money that you put in.
Right.
So yeah, it's just like, man, a lot of things that you don't know until
until you go through it. Yeah. So like with that, like the situation you're talking about, just so the audience has context, it was a wholesaler had brought it to us. They had locked it up at like $15,000, and they were selling it to us for $31,000. At the time, $31,000 for a lot in Sunnyside was a great deal. So we were like, yeah, I don't care how much you make. Like, PSA for any wholesalers out there, send them to me. I don't care how much you make, just as long as it's a good deal for me. So but the title insurance was only covering it up to the 15, because that's what the original purchase contract that the guy has with the seller. And so again, I didn't know this at the time. I just thought, oh, they're going to cover our purchase price. Like, and then I didn't read the actual number in the contract. So that was on me. So again, like, yeah, there's just a lot of ways where you probably want to make sure you have someone who's bought land before, take a look at your title policy before you go out and just buy land and assume you're going to build on it, because there's just so many things that can come up.
Yeah, that's good. So,
and also I had another question about, so if you do purchase land and you build on it and say you don't want to sell it or you don't sell it, so is there a certain percent that you should look at as far as it being profitable? Of course, you want to have your rent more than whatever it is you're paying monthly on your note, but is there a certain range, I guess, that you should kind of be looking at before you get into any deal?
Yeah, so I just tell you what I do personally is like for every deal, I think I get people on Instagram who'll DM me like, hey, like what type of calculator do you use? I'm like, all I got is like 5 lines in Excel. It's literally purchase price, construction cost, soft costs, meaning your permitting and your plans, like getting architectural plans, and those 3, and then like what is it going to be worth at the end.
Okay.
My whole thing is I want my all-in cost to be about 75% of the final value.
The final value. Okay.
Yeah. So for example, if you take a look at duplexes around here, and stuff is going to be worth, like new construction duplexes that are 3.2 are worth around like 400 right now. Okay. So 75% of that is 320.
300.
Someone 300. I don't know.
300.
Yeah. Why can't I'm supposed to be an engineer. I can't even do math. I gave that up. 300. So I want my land plus my construction and my permitting cost to be right around 300. Now I can be a little flexible. If it's like 310, I'll probably still do the deal, but like those are the rough numbers that I would look for, because you got a lot of profit margin if stuff goes wrong, because
things can go wrong. Yeah.
Okay. So I think that's pretty good. I don't know what else.
And are you still actually working as well?
Good question. Yeah. So like I think in the last video I was an engineer.
Yeah.
I mean, I had my degree in engineering, but I was working as an engineer. Now I left that to be a lender for Fund That Flip, which is a hard money lending for construction and fix and flips. So just aligned with what I'm trying to do anyways.
Okay, so I see that. So maybe we can go a little bit more detail into Fund That Flip. Maybe me and my cousin get it. I mean, let us know.
For sure.
We want some gems over here. Maybe give us some. So like, what's that about? I see you posted, and I was trying to go to. I don't know. I know you had like a golf course. I think was it the golf event. I don't play golf.
I don't either.
I just wanted to go, but I think it was during the day because unfortunately I still work a full-time job. So but so maybe you could go a little bit about Fund That Flip. So we let the viewers know about.
For sure. Yeah. So Fund That Flips basically are a nationwide hard money lending company, originated in like the Northeast, just starting to expand to South, like Texas. I'm probably like this first or second hire here, and then we're expanding into Florida and hopefully out west. So we'll fund anything from fix and flips, new construction, subdivision developments. Like that's what we really like to do. So if someone's building 50 houses and we want to fund all 50. So if you got a deal in Texas, I cover Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, Iowa, Wisconsin.
So
Louisiana.
So people bring deals to you. So how can a regular person get on this? So like explain it like so I would have to bring a deal to you, or can I get in on the funding? Like I'm just trying to figure out like what can somebody who got a regular person can do to get on Fund My Flip, or are they just only for future investors or future developers? Like maybe get a little more.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways to get onto it. It's like if you have a deal and you're need obviously, so like in my case when I talked about the construction loan, like you could go to Fund That Flip for a construction loan, or your fix and flip. So now again, we're not going to fund the whole thing. We'll fund a portion of it, and there needs to be some gap that.
Right. So I got to have some skin in the game.
Skin in the game.
Because
right.
like,
So
so is it hard for somebody? Let's say like me and my cousin, we want to be like, man, we got some money saved up. We find a deal. We're new to it, like how Donovan was new to it. Mm-hmm. Could we go to Fund My Flip? We bring a deal to you, and possibly we could, get some funds, or you got to be like vetted out for a long period of time.
Yeah, not a long period of time. I'd say in general, most of the people we fund have at least about 4 deals under their belt.
Okay.
Or what they do is they just bring someone on with that experience.
Okay.
Okay. So like in my case, again, I didn't have experience and my partner didn't have experience. So we had to pay a crazy high interest rate construction loan. And just to give you the viewers and you guys a little bit about the construction loan is like, in general, you're only paying interest on what you use. So let's say the construction is 170, and you pull 40 for the foundation. So at that time, you're only paying interest on the 40,000.
On the 40,000. Okay.
But
that's good insight, man.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, but on the original 2 deals that you saw, the that single story that we walked through, and then the duplex or the 2-story duplex. That one we were paying interest on the full amount since day one. So, and it was because we didn't have experience. So that's the downside. Is like what I recommend is just get someone with experience to bring on the deal, give them a portion of it, make it worth their while somehow. Just like how I made it worth Andrew's while by he invested the money and then he got, you know, a good percentage of the deal. So, you know, it's probably not ideal to, you know, give up that much equity, but if you need to get started, like
yeah, because you're learning, so you're kind of
right.
So
you're just getting in to
makes
learn.
sense. Because you got to understand that any industry that when you get started, you got to try. You know, you got to do what you got to do to get your foot in the door. Because I know, like, we do event rentals and everything. When you first started out, you know, you might have to lower your price. You might have to do what you got to do to give people a deal. You know, make things work so you can get in the game. And then once you get in the game, you can be just like everybody else, which that makes sense.
Exactly.
So let me see if there's any other questions coming up. These are questions that's from the first video. I'm trying to go back through the comments and see if I see any questions that Donovan might haven't answered, but
no problem. Yeah, while you're looking through that, I'll just talk about like, you know, you hit on a good point. It was like, you got to do what you got to do to get started. So in my case, I was giving up equity in my deals to get that gap funding or the skin in the game.
Okay.
You know, the skin in the game can come from multiple like we talked about earlier. It could have came from your personal money, investor money, or like the business credit sort of thing. Again, in my case, it was investor money. But again, like this is why I have a full-time job and I continue to work, is because a few things is like, okay, I want to reinvest the money that we get, and there's also a long time between when you start to when you actually make money as a developer. So keep that in mind as well. As like some people are like, oh, I'm going to quit my job and become a developer. Like, how much money you got? Hope you got a couple, you know, years of expenses saved up.
You still have to live.
Still got to live.
You still have to, you know, take care of the things that you're trying to invest in. So.
All right. I got another question from Greek Sun that was on the comments. It says, is a builder's license needed for multifamily new construction?
So in Texas, you don't need a GC license or a builder's license to do anything, which is why I think Texas is
booming.
Great. Yeah, great. And this is why you see a lot of cheaper. That's why if you talk to someone about your construction costs in Texas versus, I don't know, Pennsylvania or something, it's completely different because, or I guess California is a good example. California, you need a license just to paint. So imagine if you had to hire someone with a license to paint every time, like
that's a lot.
There's only so many people who have licenses, whereas here I can go hire anyone off the street to paint because anyone can paint. That's not what I'm worried about. Obviously, people who are doing HVAC and electricity and plumbing need to have a license, but outside of that, they don't need to be anybody off the street.
Oh, okay. Wow. That makes sense. I didn't know that. That's a good thing. I didn't know that you had to have a license different from different states, so that's a good deal.
Yeah, very.
So I don't want to make this too long, and we're probably on this for a minute. So I guess we just talk about where you might want to go to. We probably do like an on-site visit real quick. Maybe try to get Donovan to give us one of his properties. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know, we could be preferred buyers or something. Yeah, because I definitely would like to, you know, get my skin in this game, maybe on a duplex, or, you know, we'll talk off camera on this. But
for sure.
But yeah, so I think we're gonna wrap it up real quick, and then we probably maybe do a quick visit to one of the sites and see how it goes. You know, see where you're at. Because which one you think? You said you got one or two that's one under contract.
He said one that's almost finished.
Yeah, I'll probably go to that one that's under contract.
Yeah, so we could, because I want to show people, because I got a few hates for somebody like, you didn't really show the property like you should have on the first video. Well, I'm like, man, that's my first video, but you know,
but it's a process.
It's a process.
The beginning and they can see
exactly, man. So we just getting started. So like I said, this whole point of this building Wealth While Black is that I feel like, you know, as a community, as a culture, that we a lot of things we don't know about, we kind of left behind. We don't get the knowledge that I feel like we should get. And so my thought is always to, you know, as I learn the knowledge on whether it's property investing or developing. I don't know, or whatever it is. I know this guy was doing Turo. Are you still doing Turo at the time?
I'm not doing Turo.
So he was doing Turo. I know,
Turo.
like I said, me and my wife, we have a event, a rental business, like whatever is out there. There's a lot of things out there beside a 9 to 5 that we don't know about, that people are doing, that is building wealth that we don't know. So my whole point of this is to share the knowledge. So as I gain the knowledge, I want to pass it on, so we all can be great.